Good day, and welcome to Far Reaches. We are four people from similar parts of the world who have wound up chasing different dreams and living different lives. We are Richard, Raleigh, Joel, and Micah. Richard and Micah are from Southeast Oregon, from two small ranching communities known as Pine Creek and Plush. Raleigh and Joel are from Northeast Oregon, from the Pendleton area. We met through college, mutual friends, and heard of stories of each other. Somehow wound up being at the same place at the same time. See, we live and work in different parts of the U.S. now and have all taken different paths to get to where we are. We all talk separately and live far apart. So we decided we should try and talk more together. We hope you come along and enjoy. Hey, how your mom and them? Welcome to the Far Reaches podcast. As we're now saying around here, let's go, Brandon. Sorry, couldn't resist. If you don't know what that means, we're going to get into it in this episode for sure. Welcome to Far Reaches. This week and every week brought to you by our extremely good friends at B&K Auto Salvage in the beautiful Grand Ronde Valley. That's LeGrand and Baker, for those of you not familiar with that area. And you know, they have over 1,200 used parts in stock and a large selection of 4x4 parts. Fall's coming up, hunting season's coming up, winter's coming up. Get your rig fixed up. B&K Auto Salvage is your Eastern Oregon one-stop shopping in the automotive world. Use promo code Malarkey for discount rates on pulled parts and a bump in those scrap rates. So you get, if you're buying, it's cheaper. If you're selling, it's more. It doesn't get any better than that. That's B&K Auto Salvage and Recycling, located on Highway 203 outside the Grand Oregon in Baker City. Your local used auto parts and scrap metal dealer. I like it. I could do this for a living, I think. What do you think, Richard?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think you're putting in the work on your second, third, fourth.
I stopped counting. Welcome, kids. Far Reaches. I am Micah. That is Richard. Joel is doing Joel stuff. Raleigh's probably either moving cows, selling hay, building fence, or tending to the uber pregnant wife, or probably all of the above. That's my guess. So, there's four of us originally. We're not always all going to be here, but we press forward and do as we can. And we do talk a little trash about those that aren't here. So, chime in if you have rude or good things to say about the other host. We're more than happy to take those on and probably enhance them a little bit too. So it just fuels our texting stream for the week most of the time. So, Richard, we're in the green room. Good day, sir. How are you? Love the green room.
Good. Good. Wow, 2 weeks in a row we're on fire.
This is how you start off season 3. Yeah. Yes. Next week, God knows what's going to happen, but I think we have to at least go twofer. So yeah, that looks like a can of Irish Spring just exploded in your room. I freaking love that color, dude.
Yeah, and I think this was one of the rooms we did not paint.
That's factory is what you're saying.
Yes, yeah. Well, it was really tough because when I was a kid, I painted it a deep burgundy.
I mean, why wouldn't you? That's very artistic and soulful. Yeah,
it was edgy, Yeah. In reality, it's extremely depressing color to live in. So yeah, there's a reason why we mostly paint our walls white.
Soothing and not like bright red or crazy stuff.
I do have one of the walls that I have my two paintings on and one of my pictures on. It's a Chinese, heritage Chinese or something, and it is blue.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So that's an accent wall now, I think they say.
Yes. So
can you hear me all right? It sound changed. Can you still hear me all right?
I can hear you good.
All right, good. Fine. That's all I care about.
We are weaning this week, so that's super exciting. We did the first batch today. Richard came with us and got to work with his grandfather a little bit. Richard, I guess working would be loosely what he was doing, but
surrounded by,
yeah. So anyways, he had a wonderful time and ordered everybody about. So he's a natural. Yeah, he's ready to go. So then we went to Reno, doctor's appointment, and it was nice. You don't get out much during COVID from Lakeview, and other than we collected about 15 million masks because every time we leave the pickup,
Oh, you forget.
Yeah. So
you'd walk in a store, sir.
Yeah. But luckily they have masks right there, probably for the rest of Northern Nevada that also doesn't wear masks all the time. Yeah. So my whole entire pickup console is full of masks. But we got a nice Airbnb that was really close to downtown, and we took Richard to the Paw Patrol movie, which was
cool.
his first big screen experience. And that is something that's really fun, to take your kid to the big screen and to watch movies, because it's just crazy. And all the other little kids chiming in all through the movie. It's hilarious. So
so they know all the songs or the things or whatever. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Yeah. I don't know Paw Patrol from a Pol Pot, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you ever have kids, there will be that version. It's going to be Elmo or Barney or Paw Patrol or whatever.
I was just going to say freaking Barney. Frozen a couple years ago. Yeah. So
yeah. He's big into Moana, which we've been encouraging, because that You're Welcome song that The Rock sings is hilarious. So
I've not engaged in that entertainment either. So you need to make a list.
Well, you got to watch Moana. It's a Disney movie.
I've seen she's a Hawaiian princess who doesn't want to be a princess or something like that. Is that the one?
Yeah, she's pretty awesome. Yeah, she's my second favorite princess, next to the Brave one.
Oh, Brave. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
there's the modern princess era, and then there's the older princess. Princess Power, Leia, etc.
Yeah. So this is a movie review for little kids movies that I've been watching a lot of.
Hey, you have to get some sort of entertainment. If you're not watching something that R3 can check out, then there you go. So
yeah, the part that The Rock plays in Moana is hilarious. So it's worth watching, and it's not too woke. So it's
a few years old, isn't it? Yeah,
it's a few years. Yeah, and one of the few Disney movies where she has a grandmother, a mother, and a father. The grandmother passes, but it's a reoccurring character in the thing.
Oh, that's awesome. So that used to be quite standard, and then it seemed to shift away, and so everything had to be I guess you try to make everybody feel special. I'll just put it like that.
So the other big this is terribly talking about what you've done for your 3-year-old is terribly thrilling radio, I know, but when we got married, my father-in-law bought a projector to show a slideshow for the sole purpose of just doing a slideshow at the reception, and then gave it to us, and it sat in a box for 4 or 5 years now, 4 years. And so we got the Roku soundbar and hooked it up to the projector.
Oh yeah,
just put it at the wall, and so we have a big screen viewing movie thing now. So you're
living large.
We're digging family night and the movies.
Awesome.
Yeah, and
I've thought about doing that too, especially now. Projectors are technology is way better than ever, and much more economical than ever before. So
the picture's great. So you grew up with the rabbit ears.
Yeah, exactly.
And black and white TV.
27-inch, 700-pound TV. Yeah. Or even black and white, like you said.
Oh, yeah. The quality's as good as a vacuum big screen all the way. Possibly better.
Possibly better, I think. Yeah, the 90-inch Mitsubishi, that's set on the floor. That was it was probably 45, I think, or something like that. But yeah, and then eventually your new TV set on top of that old one, So
yeah,
we had remember our house in Corvallis, or out in Tangent where I lived with Trevor and the gang. Yeah, so we had that big, huge Mitsubishi TV that we got at I think it was called Parrot. It was like a used appliance store. So we got the huge, big console Mitsubishi. And after a while, it stopped working, but you'd have to smack it on the side of the TV and it would turn back on. And so Jeopardy was that was the program we were freaking watching. And so instead of having to get up and go smack the TV, I rigged a ski boot up that ran off the spiral staircase and went upstairs, so I could just pull it from my recliner and drop the cord, and the ski boot would kick the side of the TV and it would bring it back to life. And then not too much longer, we bought a new TV and it just sat on top of the old one. So we knew we were pretty uptown rednecks at that point.
Well, when you go to the dump every week,
oh, you come back with more shit. Oh.
Yeah. There's just a line of old TVs. People finally got around to like the big screen TVs. They finally decided, well, we got to get that out of the basement, or we got to get out of the garage or the room we never use. So yeah, they're all going to happy places, I guess. Not so happy places.
Go live with a nice couple in the country. Yeah.
What else would it? It's just nice to get to Reno. I haven't gambled in Reno in years.
Oh yeah.
The food's amazing. We hit up Louis Bass Corner and Sub and Pub, and what else? Oh, we did an all you can eat sushi at the Grand Sierra.
Oh.
So yeah. Had there not been masks, would have been like normal. Everything was cool and everybody was cool, and just it's interesting to walk through a casino with everybody masked. It must raise hell with the surveillance.
I would think so. Yeah, the whole eye in the sky is probably not near as happy.
Yeah.
Can you still smoke in casinos in Reno? I don't remember.
No,
I didn't think you could, because that would raise hell with that too. But it'd be nice to have the mask on if that was still going on.
And it snowed the day they were there, so that was cool. The first night.
Cleansing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's one of the reasons I like Reno is a lot of sunshine, but snow randomly. I just,
it's like the Denver of the West.
I like Reno. I know it's a boomer bust town, and it's going to be sad when all the Tesla people and all the Gigafactory people find out about the bust, but then Reno will go back to its charming self. So
yeah, circle of life kind of thing. So yeah, they might. Who knows? I'm sure as people continue exodus California, that's a natural first stop.
It's just so big. It's amazing. Our lifetime, how big Reno has become.
Oh yeah, and always growing.
If you took Bend what it is now, you'd have Reno, but times that by 3, and now you have modern day Reno.
Yeah, and just talking about how much Bend has changed since high school. Even that's a long time ago now, but every time you go through there, you go through either one, Bend or Reno, it's different than the time before.
Oh yeah, that's the other shocking thing I saw at Sub and Pub. If you have a 1-9 in front of your birthday, you can you're done. Two people that were burned in 2000 are now legal to drink.
Yeah, I was just doing the math. I was like, boy, a ball. Yeah. That's encouraging.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a pretty nice little Saturday. Yeah.
Yep. So
my reach around's not near as exciting as yours. Got jury duty summons, I guess. That was probably one of the highlights. I have that app where you can see the letters coming in your mail, so you get a notice at like 7:30 or so in the morning, recorded at 8, you get an email or a notice in your app. So I'm usually at work and I'm like, oh, I wonder what mail I'm getting today. And it's like, damn it. Oh, jury summons. Yeah. What is this going to screw up? Yeah, so that's what happens when you, sign up to vote and volunteer to do, polling station, this and that. Like, oh yeah, you want to get involved, do you? Jury duty. That'll learn.
They'll take advantage of you.
Yes, exactly. So
maybe I hope you get a Florida man trial.
I know, wouldn't it be great? Yeah, I'd be giving some tips and stuff on how to be a better Florida man. So we'll see. Other than that, it's just been pretty much work and coming home and stomping around here and trying to get some plans in place for stuff to go do this fall. I gotta get my priorities straight and might get a chance to go to a really cool combat training if I can get the work schedule figured out. That's up in Tennessee. That's like a 3-day blast a bunch of rounds, kind of really cool hand-to-hand combat and pistol training, but I'm not sure if I can get my work schedule all put together. We've been hiring a lot of people at work or doing a lot of recruiting as well. So building a sales team that I get to kind of take from ground zero. So that's been taking a lot of my time too, is getting to do that now. So that's been super cool. It's it can be interesting, or somewhat intimidating when you're interviewing people with way more education and way more scientific knowledge than you have, and you're still like trying to ask good questions and ascertain their sales acumen, you will, or how can they talk to people that aren't on the same level. But we've met some incredible folks, so that's been super fun, getting to go through some of that too. So, but pretty quiet other than that, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, you need to I envision your job as selling scientific stuff to people that need scientific stuff, and you need to bridge the gap between the entrepreneur that needs the scientific stuff, who doesn't know all the science, but has scientists that's telling him that he needs that science.
Exactly. Yeah. So sometimes it's the scientist I'm talking to. Sometimes it's the boss going, my scientist needs this. And sometimes it's people like, yeah. So it's, I've been filling in, taking on some other, I guess, sort of venues or lines of our business line. And one of our lines is evolutionary biology. And it's really focused on a lot of like museums and really focused research at universities. And so talking to those people, they like, most of them have a pretty solid idea what they're talking about. And they're coming in, spatting their language. And I'm like, we need to read through this really slow. Cause like this dude works at Smithsonian and he's done this like 30 times and I need to try to figure it out. So those are the first thing in the morning, just after my huge glass of water and about my half a cup of coffee, I tear into those. And then, because by 2 o'clock, I'm barely reading my name. So yeah. Yeah, it's fun. So anyway, that's my reach around. So mostly domestic duties and working like maniac and trying to get the schedule figured out so I can go maybe play and have a little fun, hopefully. But yeah, that course is called S12. Buddy of mine sponsors it. Jeff from Colorado Craft Beef sponsors the meat and does some of the cooking, and he's been to that several times. And I kind of get to go and be assistant barbecue dude and shooter. And so like, it's really hard to pass up like 3 days of that, but I need to get my work schedule dialed before I can know for sure. But man, it wouldn't get much better than that. So
you just need to line up some sales calls in Colorado.
Actually, it's in Tennessee. Jeff blasts all the way over from Colorado to Tennessee to go to this thing.
Nice.
Yeah. So either way, yeah, it's a drive for me, but I'll see what I can get figured out, but we'll go from there, but should be quite entertaining. So great reach around, Richard. I mean, really, that's, I guess for us, it would be the Dutch rudder. Yeah. So
yeah. Yep. Unfortunately, yes.
We are, roommates. So previous anyways. Did you get a chance to watch HUD? Do you feel confident in describing it or talking about it?
I can talk about it. I did not have time to watch it, but I can talk. I've seen it like 20 times. So yeah, I'm pretty confident I could cover it all.
Well, that was our entertainment spotlight that had been suggested and I had on my list for quite some time, probably back 6 months or so at least. So we talked a little bit about last time, 1963, Paul Newman. I picked it because it just kind of hurts when you watch it, but it's something you should watch anyways. So I do. I've only watched it all the way through probably 3 times. I've watched a lot of it 100 times. Sometimes it just tears at me. I think it's almost too real to watch from beginning to end. And I've been a fan of this movie for a long time, but I didn't realize until we started talking more about this stuff that Larry McMurtry was based on his novels. And just, I guess it's one of those things you don't realize how much influence somebody has had on your viewing and your reading and your entertainment until you kind of put all these pieces together. And I'm like, damn, that guy has just sort of been like the backbone.
We've now done 3 Larry McMurtry stories and movies on the podcast. So that's huge.
Yeah, it could be our unofficial kind of mascot, because obviously we got HUD, we've got I don't want to say Streets of the Lonesome Dove, but I'm thinking about Last Picture Show as well. Yeah. Probably won't do Brokeback or Terms of Endearment, but those are two of his other more famous ones. But
Brokeback was written by a woman.
Directed by a woman, I believe.
Was it Larry McMurtry, or was it? I think it was somebody. I think it was the guy that did.
It's on his IMDb. He was a writer.
That doesn't seem right.
I don't mean to break your heart.
Elmer Leonard was, I thought.
No, according to IMDb, he was one of the writers on Brokeback Mountain.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know. Let's see. Writers Annie Prue, Larry McMurtry, and Diana Osana. Ang Lee was the director. Yeah.
Annie Prue is the actual author of the book.
That's from the short story. Yeah. Larry helped on the screenplay, apparently. So, yeah. Well said, Richard. Well said. I didn't think we'd ever get in a discussion about that in depth about Brokeback Mountain, but here we are. Yeah. So,
well, she's a good writer. And so
I think and Ang's a great director. Who directed that? Yeah, I can't think off the top of my head what other ones. She's done several of them. I can't think off the top of my head. I know. Oh, Crouching Tiger. That was one of hers, I think.
Yep.
If I'm not out of my tree. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, it was like, God, I haven't seen that movie in too long, but it was really, when you say beautiful, it certainly was visually stunning for sure. Yeah. So yeah, that's sort of an awakening I had, if you will, about, man, a lot of things I really liked and kind of grew up with and on, or some way or another tied to Larry McMurtry. So who knew? It was kind of a different kind of doc.
Another one that writes a lot of stuff that you wouldn't realize is that Elmore Leonard.
Dude, yeah, totally.
Westerns, and he wrote the big, what is it, Out of Sight? That was a great movie.
And several.
Yeah,
and things you wouldn't necessarily equate to him.
And then there's a whole genre that these guys all fall into. Dave Barry even falls into it with his Florida stories.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, Out of Sight, Get Your Justified, Jackie Brown. That's a lot of some Elmore Leonard stuff. Justified, I've watched that series like 4 times. Just because
that was originally a short story called Fire in the Hole.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah. And
but that doesn't cover HUD. we sort of drifted away.
Richard just brought this, man. We got to the point where Richard's the one bringing us back on point. I'm so proud. I really
am. I think the reason that HUD conjures up all these comparisons is because it is really sort of I would go as far as to say it was a genre breaker, because it's not really a Western. It's almost a thriller. It's a real sort of it's a coming of age story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like
the generations. I think it really tells a lot about that, especially considering it was in the early 60s and, there's a lot of turmoil. I think more than normal, or at least we've framed it that ways, between the fathers and sons and moms and daughters. I think that generational gap or shift was coming into play pretty hard.
Yeah, modern day actor would be like having to go to psychotherapy because they have post-traumatic stress syndrome after playing that character. But Paul Newman is like, all right, let's up next, Butch Cassidy, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Next, yeah, and I'm done, and I'm spent. Yeah, so.
Yeah, but we'd still be hearing about the trials and the tribulations of the actor that had to do it now, because it's such a dark role.
Him and then obviously the actress who played what was her name in the movie, the housekeeper,
Yeah,
Alma Brown. Yeah, she goes through a lot.
And the old man, he's amazingly cast also.
Yeah, I don't recognize that guy from anything else. Melvin Douglas. He looks, his picture on IMDb looks like, kind of looks like, the airplane guy, crazy fingernails.
Oh, Liam Neeson.
No, old.
Not Liam Neeson, Wesley Nelson.
No.
I don't know another airplane guy.
No, not airplane like Roger, but fucking The Aviator.
Oh, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. Howard Hughes. That's
He got there.
That is like the worst case of like charades that we've ever done. His picture on IMDb kind of looks like Howard Hughes. Of course, he was born in 1901, so that would be part of it. But yeah, I don't recognize much anything else he was in. But man, he did such a great job of like just a beat down dad who's trying to love his son and still run his ranch and put up with the past, because that's a lot of the contention is that, HUD killed his brother in a car wreck. And then things got worse from there.
Very common story.
Yeah. You got the older brother and does something stupid and the younger brother dies and pays for it. And then everything's just hosed up for the rest of everybody's life, and it doesn't necessarily have to be, killing your younger brother, but could be, he got drunk or he skipped school or you left him alone when you weren't supposed to, or something traumatic because you're older and don't care.
Well, it's almost, I'm going to change my thing. It's almost like a Shakespearean tragedy.
I'd say, oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Just, if that's what McMurtry was shooting for, you hit it.
It sounds like Wheel of Fortune sounds. Yeah, I don't know how much he drew from. Obviously, he drew some from where he grew up. He grew up in West Texas. Some of his experiences or thoughts, but certainly was able to capture that in different forms about just the sort of the plight of being in that position and being those people. I think very well done.
Having lived in West Texas, it's definitely a different world.
Well, yeah, because you got Texas, this whole country unto itself, and then western portion is separate yet again, if you will.
Well, it's just such a amalgamation of characters.
And like the Alaska of the South, like basically, like people are there for a reason.
Just incredibly diverse. I mean, like that's where the guy from There Will Be Blood, which was originally written. What was the guy that wrote In the Jungle?
Google.
Upington Sinclair.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
He also wrote. There Will Be Blood was based on Upington Sinclair.
Oh.
Novel called. I can't remember what the novel was called, but anyways, that sort of gritty, oil-filled, desolate. That was written about the Bakersfield area where There Will Be Blood was written, but a lot of it reminiscent of sort of West Texas, and I think that's originally where that story started out in. And it's just, and then you have the King Ranch and El Paso. It's just such a sort of a fabled part of America that it has its own energy, I think. Because
go ahead.
All of Cormac McCarthy's books are in there.
Who?
The No Country for Old Men, All the Pretty Horses.
Oh yeah.
Meridian. Except he does write some in Georgia, the South, the Deep South.
Did he do Hell or High Water too? Or is that different?
No, but this guy that did Hell or High Water did Hell or High Water, Serpico, which is also West Texas, and Wind River.
Oh shit, Wind River. Yeah. Wow.
But I like him. He's good.
Is that Taylor Sheridan? Taylor Sheridan was involved in Wind River, but I don't think he was writing. Maybe he was directing.
The guy that wrote it and directed it is the guy that wrote Hell or High Water, and he just did another one.
Isn't that Taylor Sheridan?
Might be. Yeah, he originally
also doing Yellowstone.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And they just bought the producers of Yellowstone just bought the 666 ranch.
No, Taylor did. Yeah.
Yeah. So they think there's going to be a.
You say that like I know him, but yeah, Taylor Sheridan just bought the 4.6s.
But back to HUD. All these things we're talking about stem from. I think you could easily make a case that a lot of that stems from that movie. It's that sort of its own genre. Even Serpico is sort of that.
Serpico, isn't that the cop movie with Al Pacino?
No, I'm talking about the one on the border with Josh Borland and
Sicario?
Sicario. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. You said Serpico the
Sorry.
first time. I let it pass and I was like, wait a minute. No. Serpico,
No,
that's
yeah.
Pacino, New York, I think.
Yeah, sorry.
Sicario, I think that's the name of the other one. I agree. And I hadn't thought about it till you said it, that I think a lot of them were spawned out of that HUD point of view or genre, if you will, or subgenre, because they all have that similar undertone for sure, right? Almost a writing style to a degree. So that's obviously why I picked it.
Yeah.
Sure.
And the other one that's equally as dark is Blood Meridian, which they can't. It's so dark that Christian Bale has the rights to the movie. They cannot figure out how to make it because it's so violent.
Wow, but Christian Bale's done some psycho stuff.
Yeah. So
it's called Blood Meridian.
Yeah, it's Cormac McCarthy's probably his best book.
Oh wow!
But boy, is it tough to read. And then he's got another one that's really tough to read called The Outer Dark.
When you say tough to read, what do you mean by that? Just like what it talks about?
Well, in Blood Meridian, they drowned a puppy.
Okay. There you go. Yeah.
And like chapter 3.
Okay, well, yeah, you got to set the tone early. I've had get your initial opening, and then we're going to smack you right up in the face.
Yeah. Take Old Yeller times it by 50.
Yeah. Tie him to a tree and bash him in the head with a shovel. Yeah. So it's
no, like it just like The Outer Dark is so twisted at the end. It has it's like M. Night Shyamalan's evil brother was just let loose with a typewriter. And the entire time throughout the entire book, every time there's an interaction, he spends pages going through the character's mind frame.
Oh.
Whether they're going to decide if they're just going to shoot the guy dead in the road or if they're going to take the risk of passing him. And I tend to believe that was pretty close to how life was then. It was so dangerous and so violent in certain parts of our.
I'm going to jail.
My wife has had it. She's leaving.
I might have to change the title of this episode. I'm just gonna tell you.
It's better than her killing me, I guess.
I suppose. That's only because you're on live stream right now. So. There'll be a post on Facebook. Hey, looking for a fourth host for Far Reaches? Yeah. Richard's going to be in traction for a while. I don't mean to interrupt our train of thought, but given your wife's comment on upcoming incarceration, do you have an entertainment spotlight that we can get on the record now in case we get sidetracked before we get to that point? I think that hurt myself. You can take a couple minutes, but I just want to get that out for the record so our fellow reachers can keep up with us.
Oh, I did have one. I really want everybody to watch the original MASH.
Oh, the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, outstanding.
Yep. If you can find it. If it hasn't
Frank, my lips are hot. Yeah.
But I think that's a brilliant movie also.
That has got some of the best actors / characters that all come together. I'm trying to think of it. How many times before have you had a movie like that spawned a series that became probably even more popular and well known than the movie itself?
Oh yeah, but the movie is pretty brilliant.
The movie's outstanding.
And
if they just would have done that ever and never done even the series, it would still stand alone really well. I mean, it was awesome.
And the really interesting thing is the way it was allowed to get to the air, because the producers actually thought they didn't want to have anything to do with the Vietnam War. And so they framed it in the Korean War.
Yeah.
And the same studio was filming Tora 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 and another huge movie, and I can't remember what it was. And so nobody was paying attention when they made MASH.
Yeah.
And so they snuck it under the thing. And so having Sutherland and Gould and
Thomas Garrett
and
yeah,
Duvall.
Yeah. Oh, Duvall is the best, dude.
Oh, yeah. And it's got that dark tinge to the original, the MASH episodes never had. MASH, the TV show, was brilliant in its own way, but it didn't have that darkness.
It had several episodes were dark, but not the overall tone of the movie, I think, is that ultimately.
Yeah. And the fact that it was allowed to be made in the studio, like after it came out, I think even contemplated pulling it out of the theaters until they realized that they had this. And it ended up grossing more than Tora 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 and the other movie that was made, because it's just such a commentary on our times. And like some of the ones that Raleigh picked, it's a good, council culture and wokeness to watch MASH right now, because that it handled the same discussions we're having now in such a much better way. And really, I think it would make wokeness never makes you think about what the outcomes or what you're doing, but when you saw it portrayed in movies like MASH, and there are some other ones like The Heat of the Night.
Oh man,
just brilliant ways to address really complex social issues instead of this like going up and hitting a brick wall. And you can't come away from MASH and not say that it didn't change your perspective on the world. And every time I watch it, I pick something different.
That's the other thing is every time I see it, I pick up something different based on my point of view at the time, my experiences, my way I'm looking at things and evaluating and experiencing. 100%. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite things. There's several movies like that.
And there's not one of them. And there's not a crappy performance in the whole movie.
Everybody brought it, dude.
They all nailed it. Yeah.
And it was just like some are subtle, some are bold, but everybody's right where they need to be. It's freaking perfect, and the TV show did a lot of social commentary in different ways. And that was fine. I think they used it as a good example, but I just freaking love the movie. But I can't think off my head where another time where a movie was made, then it was made into a series, and they both had such stupendous success and long-term standing. I can't.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I stand corrected. Yes.
Oh, and one more. You're gonna kill me, but I've been pondering this really for a long time. Stargate.
Oh, that's true. That was a pretty long-running show too, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Well, it was a series of 4 different shows and another one coming.
Yeah, sort of like. But like Star Trek was a TV show that made movies from. That happens quite a bit.
Yeah.
Probably more that direction than a movie turns into a series, I guess. That'd be my uneducated opinion on that one.
But I think I'm growing to like Stargate more because I think it's a more realistic interpretation of how we will handle space travel. Because it's very messy and we screw up a lot. And, there's no prime directive. They just go in and muck up cultures right and left.
Yeah.
Like they walk through the Stargate and just walk into villages. There's no prime directive. They don't analyze it very much. They just go in and sometimes they go in and just start shooting people. So I think that's a more accurate prediction of how we ever get into space travel with other species. That I'm pretty sure that's how humans are going to roll. I don't think it's going to be like Star Wars or Star Trek.
Yeah. I think well said. Yeah.
So
we've
gone a long ways from HUD.
We got some comments here on the Facebook from B&K Auto, actually. Any reason we should listen tonight? Shit talk, interesting topics, Richard stuttering. I said, well, probably all of the above. Yeah. So take it from there. Yeah. We're going to blow their mind when they listen to this about our circles of life. But I can't wait to watch that again. It's been a couple of years since I watched MASH. either one. So waiting to see the movie again. Cool. Even just the controversy on the theme song and what that's meant over the years. So yeah,
I still sing it in my head. I sing the lyrics in my head whenever I watch the show.
Because suicide is painless. Yeah. So outstanding. So we got next week's spotlight nailed down, which leads really well into topic of the week, which I had penciled in as I never thought I'd say this out loud. I just don't like the term, but cancel culture. Given there's a lot of stuff to talk about, obviously we usually do anyways, but given the backlash from the recent Chappelle stand-up on Netflix, and then the past few days, for anybody who's on my text chain, obviously you've been inundated too with John Gruden texting comments, but looking at these two individuals and what I deem sort of the cancel culture, it's sort of two different extremes of it. One is from things happening like right now, and the other is from questionable things that were said in a private email, 10 years ago or something. And both have had lashbacks, and obviously John Gruden's resigned from being head coach of the Raiders for things he said actually when he was working for ESPN, which is the other complex part of that. But but also, and so it's sort of a weird dichotomy, because you look at a tremendous amount of backlash from a lot of different groups on Dave Chappelle's comedy special, and Netflix is still standing by and saying we're not going to pull it down. So I thought that would be an interesting topic for us, just because it's pretty lively right now, and it's something we've been dealing with a while. And then you just inadvertently brought it up, talking about MASH. Even I thought that was a great drawing into that random topic.
Dave Chappelle would be on MASH if they remade it right now.
Hell yeah. Dave Chappelle would be on All in the Family if they made it right now, or the Jeffersons. Jeffersons and All in the Family, I think, two good examples too of using entertainment to point out cultural shortcomings or oddities or anomalies, I guess you could say.
Well, yeah, like musical groups like the Rat Pack. That was a huge statement. And very defiant in the music industry, and probably only Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra could have pulled it off.
Yeah, I concur. Yeah, and I don't think about that very often, but you're dead on with that. Yeah.
So, I watched the Chappelle special. I didn't think it was one of his strongest ones.
No, not at all.
But it was very, as always, very humble. And I think what killed it for me is what he said he was going to take another break, because he's been such an important voice in this whole discussion. And when it's sad to see him stepping away for a while, because I don't think he did anything to deserve it other than give a good commentary on what a lot of normal Americans are thinking about the situation we're in right now. And I think so much of his what he said on the thing was taken out of context, and he even 100% to exaggerate on how it was taken out of context.
Yes,
and reframe it once again so that it wouldn't be taken out of context. And
which I think that's the more brilliancy of the whole entire thing and what he talked about, I think.
Yeah, and that might be why it wasn't like the last Chappelle special, which was amazing, or the Chappelle at the Kennedy Center.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So, which I think that little bit of stand-up he did at the Kennedy Center was some of the most brilliant stand-up I've ever seen. And I think a lot of it, I was thinking for a long time in this last decade, probably that Chappelle special, I can't remember the name of it, and the one that Bill Burr did, or two of the probably most,
all the Bill Burrs, but yeah.
His last one and the one that and Chappelle's came out about the same time. Probably the two best stand-up performances of the decade.
Dude, yeah, the past couple Burrs have been just lights out.
Yeah,
no doubt. Yeah, and I'm a big fan of all that he does. Like F is for Family is one of my favorite animated shows, for sure. Even his weekly podcast I listen to as well.
And he's not bad in The Mandalorian.
I know. I don't subscribe to that anymore, but I saw him a little bit in the first season, and he was good. He was good in Breaking Bad. A little bit he was in that. So Yeah, Burr does good stuff, but Chappelle, anyways, yeah, sorry, got sidetracked again. We should have called this podcast In the Ditch, I think is what we should have called it, because that's usually where we end up. Yeah. I think spoil it, but like one of the best lines for me in the whole entire thing, and it just kind of thumbs his nose a bit at everything. It was like, I knew your dad. He was a hell of a woman. I think, that just like brought everything together from where he's coming from. And people, I don't know how people could, I guess I can't say I don't know how they could be offended, because who knows what makes somebody offended. But, I just thought that sort of summed it up. Like, still had his opinion, but he respected the other. And like the story he told about his friend, like that he met, was like really touching. There was no comedy in that. Like that was heartfelt,
And I'd heard him talk about that somewhere before. I just don't remember where. So
yeah, nor do I. But yeah, I wasn't the most knee slapping, Chappelle ever, but I thought it was well stated. It was what we needed to hear. He's entertaining for sure, just because of the way he is. But just to see the blow up from that, sort of like, when Bill Burr did the monologue for SNL and called what was going to happen during the monologue. And sure as shit, that's exactly what happened after he did his monologue. That shows the insanity of it. Yeah. So.
And you just put Gruden on my radar, but I wasn't even paying. I've totally missed that one. I went back and watched some of the YouTube clips on it and watched Stephen A. Smith.
No.
And it didn't seem like Stephen A. Smith was too shook up about it. So,
well, that's the weird thing too. So, like, I'll give you a quick overview of it. Like, they were doing an investigation, the NFL, into all the things with the Redskins team owner, or pardon me, the Washington Football Club team owner. So there was emails that they were sifting through to see what this guy would have been doing, and this, that, and the other, I guess. And so at some point along the way, they noticed there was some emails from Gruden to other people, not related to the Redskins. And he was talking shit about some folks, and basically locker room talk on an email, but nothing to do. I think Dan Snyder is the person they were talking about for the Redskins. Nothing to do with any of that, and it was when he worked at ESPN. And so then they leaked a little bit of it about this. This is racist. He was talking about somebody's big old Michelin lips, I think is what he said. And then he didn't resign. And then more leaks out about some other people. And of course, then the owner's like, dude, you got to go. And so, there's like 600 some thousand emails. And, so people are wondering, like, A, it's like 10 years ago. B, it's really a private conversation. See, why now and why just him? If you have all these emails, like, are you going to tell us what's in all of them? But my ultimate question is like, well, how far back do you go? Like, remember a couple of years ago, like Kevin Hart had a now in poor taste tweet, if you will, 10, 12 years before that. And now you can't host the Oscars or whatever the shit it was. Like, I know for a fact that I know personally, I've definitely said stupid shit. And many a time in the past, it might even been pushing the boundaries then, but certainly would be viewed very badly now. But at the time, it was like, well, A, I say stupid shit. B, it was freaking funny. That's why you say it. But like, where's the line, man? Like, how far back do you dig into somebody's shit when time, completely different time frame and out of context, and put it to today's standards? That seems just ridiculous to me.
Well, there's a Latin legal term for it, and I can't think of what it is off the top of my head. But
yeah, that was in the back of my brain when I was talking about, you can't be something that wasn't illegal when you did it and is illegal now. You can't be held accountable for it.
Well, you can't be held accountable for something that somebody finds when they're looking for something else.
There's that too. Yeah, I think there's two different ones that we're thinking of then, because I'm thinking about, it's on the tip of my tongue. But like, if you did something before and it wasn't illegal, and then it becomes illegal now, you can't get prosecuted for it, because when you did it, it wasn't illegal.
Well, that's the rub in it.
Yeah.
So they pressured the NFL, and I'm sure the NFL pressured the owner, and he came to an agreement with Gruden to resign.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you had taken like Joe Rogan's new approach to this culture stuff, and did jack shit about it, and that made the NFL force the owner to fire Gruden, then Gruden would probably get a lot of money in the lawsuit. And that's what we find out. Then we come to find out, and I don't even know if this is true, but no legislation was ever put in, or even an executive order signed about the mandates.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah. So they can just do this by leveraging influence, and which I think Joe Rogan has the right to point to. Yeah, we'll do something about it.
Yeah.
You just, I mean, like, you can bitch and you can complain and you can say you're going to cancel me all you want, but in the end, Spotify has to say, yeah, we're going to forfeit $1 million that we paid you. And yeah, so
well,
yeah. Like, I mean, when his shows started magically disappearing, and he's like, whoa, what's going on here? That was part of the deal. Put those back on, and they had to put them back on.
Yeah.
So
like Chappelle shit too. Like, what are you gonna come and drag me on Twitter? Fuck Twitter. That's not even a real place.
Yeah.
Like, I was like standing in my front room, like, yeah, like, what do I care about Twitter? Who gives a shit what all the robots on Twitter say? And when I say robots, I mean people who just tweet whatever anybody else says, and then actual robots who just tweet the same freaking thing from 18,000 different fake accounts. But yeah, and yeah, those are two great examples. And Rogan's like, dude, A, screw you. B, I don't care what you think, because this is just what I think. That's why you hired me, because of what I think, and all the billions of people that listen. They may not all agree with me, but that's the whole point. Is we've lost track of the fact that you can disagree and not have to burn somebody at the stake. Like, that's the whole problem.
Yeah, just move on. And like, I think that more people need to take that approach, because like, I think that people like Gruden shouldn't quit. They should just say, you have to fire me, and then we're going to go and have a very long court battle.
Yeah. And as he framed it, like, I don't want to be a distraction for the team. So I'm just going to move along. And, he could have definitely fought that, probably wrongful termination, could have, discovery of dragging out all the emails and why this happened. And, well, also, but who knows what else they have that they haven't released yet that could have been even worse, so to speak. That just grinds on me, like, somebody who nobody even knows, like, where this is coming from, like, trickles out the little bit of stuff, like, you should probably resign. He's like, screw you, I'm going to stay here. Oh yeah, well, here's some more shit we're going to put out. No, I'm staying here. Here's some more. Fine, I'm leaving. Like, who is doing that? Like, the NFL is not even checking, or that I'm aware of, like, where's the leak coming from? Like, who's the asshole that's spurting this out? And you think back to like Deflategate, when the NFL wanted Tom Brady's phone. He's like, fuck you, you're not getting my phone. Yeah, like, oh, don't worry, it won't get leaked. Right. You leak your pinata on a Friday night, man. Yeah, not happening.
No, yeah. And I think that's the right thing. And look, when it comes down to it, we're all stupid space monkeys. Look at the stuff. Like, the only stupid space monkey that was belligerent and never got away with it was Bill Cosby. Look at Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. All these guys on the left, they cop to nothing, and they don't step down, and they're still in this. I mean, Al Sharpton had the cojones to go down and try and lecture somebody on the Texas border. He got his ass.
They're like, take your hate and go home. What are you doing here? Yeah. Like,
so,
yeah, how they I always wondered that too, how they're all the reverend this or that. Like, one thing they always blast on the conservative side is get religion out of your politics, and then 3/4 of the leaders on the liberal side are all reverend this or something that, and you're like, wait a minute, like, what the shit, but then, like, you got guys like he ran for president from North Carolina. He had an affair and it wiped him out. Gary Hart.
Yeah, Gary Hart gave up pretty early. No, this guy was more Clinton era.
Well, Gary's in that. Anyways, somebody got nailed. Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, it's just I think the guys that survive are the guys that say, yep, I screwed up. I'm a dumb space monkey, but I'm not budging from my position. Like that guy in Montreal, Flynn, still there.
Oh, yeah. Well, look how long Cuomo and,
Yeah, and how long was old Barry, and
Oh yeah, literally caught on film smoking crack. Like,
twice.
Yes, like
the second time, albeit it wasn't with prostitutes, but twice.
Yeah, he was making progress, Like, yeah, that part of it is just like, yeah, I'm here for the people. Blah blah blah. Spin spin spin. I do have to say too, the support of the media in those campaigns certainly helps the outcome of those situations, i.e. Hunter Biden's laptop. When people just don't cover it, or if they do, they completely brush it aside, as opposed to giving it what, a true journalistic integral part of like analyzing it, that would certainly have a deeper impact on a lot of those things, I think.
We're gonna have to go back and cancel Babe Ruth.
Oh, 100%.
Letters. Yeah.
What about Ty Cobb?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I mean, like, that always cracks me up. People like picking up, like, dude, Ty Cobb's in the Hall of Fame. Like, yeah, Pete Rose bet on baseball. Ty Cobb beat some dude to death with a pistol, like literally killed him, not to mention all the other shit he said he did. It's like, and that's my point. Like,
that was the funniest part of the whole Chappelle thing, the baby.
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. Because I had not heard about that. I don't, and then I actually was like looking it up when he was talking about the baby. And yeah, I was like, you guys need to relax, dude. Yeah. Because like even what's that? I sent it out the other day. It's from Idiocracy. Yeah, your shit sounds all gay and retarded, like,
yeah.
I guess that's probably why we can't monetize this channel anymore on Facebook. But like Idiocracy is one of my favorite / scariest movies of all time, and it wasn't that long ago when that was made. And that, like, yeah, your shit's all gay and retarded. Like, relax, people, relax. Yeah. That's what.
Oh, so you got to explain Brandon. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get it. I haven't. I don't have the
Jesus.
context for it.
Okay, well, here's the deal. So, at a lot of college football games, especially in huge sporting events, the crowd has been chanting "Fuck Joe Biden," like a lot. So a couple weeks ago in a NASCAR race, it started again, and the person that was getting interviewed is named Brandon. And so the NBC gal's like, oh, look at that. The crowd's chanting, let's go, Brandon. And so when like clearly you could hear, like very clearly, they were saying, fuck Joe Biden, like really loud. And she's like, yeah, they're chanting, let's go, Brandon. And so now that has become the de facto way to say it in public. And everybody like knows that means fuck Joe Biden, but they say, let's go, Brandon. And so like, people wearing t-shirts, they got signs up. Like last weekend they had some race going on, and the guy was getting ready to announce, and they had like three kids, from the Little Urban Achievers Club or whatever, like, all right, you guys see it, and they're like, gentlemen, start your engines. And then the one kid in the middle goes, let's go, Brandon. And so so yeah, it's one of the most beautifully spontaneously taking over things I've seen recently. Is the chanting of all these football games. Like, it's at Notre Dame, it's at BYU. Like, it doesn't really matter the collegiate affiliation. Like, they're chanting "fuck Joe Biden" during the game at some point. And so let's go, Brandon has been the clean version of that. So,
and I think this is where the Biden administration really should be paying attention, because it's the cohort of the people that are in college that were the 13 people, the majority of the 13 people that were killed in Afghanistan.
Tremendous point.
Yeah. And I think that they think that they have the colleges all locked up, but they just killed 13 of that demographics peer group.
Yeah. And they're really fucking up their future too.
Yeah.
Like, good luck getting out and, being able to afford anything and have a job. That's why you're going to school. Congratulations on that one. So yeah, you got that going for you, which is tied, I think, back to your mention on the, this magical vaccination mandate, and all these different, like hospitals are like losing people left, right, and center because they're making it mandatory. the Southwest Airlines pilots who were like, you may directly pound sand. They don't think about most pilots, not all, but most are ex-military. Like they learned how to fly in the military, got out, go to work for Southwest.
I honestly think that the Southwest Airlines could be the Bear Stearns that kicks off the next recession.
Could be.
I think that might be the little thing that might be the tipping point.
It depends on if they pull their head out of their ass or not. When they had like 1,800 grounded flights last week, and they said it was because of weather. Yeah.
Oh, they copped up to it today.
Finally. Yeah. But still, like, how sad is that? Like, seriously.
And then my dad said that United might be joining them and Amtrak, but I don't know that that's true yet. So
I don't see how that's going to work out well. I don't know, but I was just watching the show earlier tonight, and they were showing like different hospitals around the country and cops, they're just resigning or saying no when they're asked to turn in their proof of vaccination. I'm like, not going to happen, and so that keeps happening. Like, there's going to be no services, and maybe that's what the administration wants, so they can come in with federal level and take it over. I don't know, but
who? I mean,
that's the thing they forget about too, is like, we'll just bring in the National Guard to cover for the people that, dummy, who do you think's in the National Guard? The people who you're firing right now. Like, like it's volunteers, civilians who are still doing military duty.
Well, the National Guard has to be pulled off of their jobs.
That's the point. Yeah. So like New York, they're getting rid of all the, medical staff who are not doing the vaccination. Okay, we'll just call the National Guard. Well, the people you were firing are also most of the people who are in the National Guard as medical people. Like it's the same person, you dumbass. Like, but that was my theory on the whole policing thing about defunding the cops, because they wanted to bring in federal police instead. And I'm sure that's not over with, but that's my black helicopter theory on all the defunding and the bastardization of the cops, is so they wouldn't have local police anymore who tell them to go fuck off. That's my thoughts.
Well, the sad thing I see when I go to Reno and places like that is there isn't even enough people working to keep the restaurants clean, or the theaters clean, or the casinos clean. And like, there was one, we went to, before the movie, the Paw Patrol movie, we went to Johnny Rockets in the basement of the area. It's usually a hopping place, good burgers, one waitress, one busboy, and looked like a cook and another person floating around. So 4 people to man a restaurant that can serve 200 people at
you gotta be kidding me.
Any given time. The floors were covered in hamburger grease because they literally could not clean it fast enough. So like, you had to actually be careful to walk out of there. And it's not because Grand Sierra's run badly, it's because they physically do not have enough people to execute organization of that size all in one building. And like,
wow,
2 people in the movie theater at the Grand Sierra.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and like, the restaurants don't open until 5. Most of the primo restaurants there don't open until 5. And just random parts of the casino are just shut down because there's just nobody working.
That's
and
so
the entire
so
foreign. There was the cook, a bartender, and a bus girl and a waiter. That's it. And there was probably 60 people in there.
Dude, that's completely foreign to me here in Florida.
Well, and that's what like life is in when I was in Russia. Every place that you go in is dirty. There's not enough help. And I'm not bitching about Russia or anything.
That's a good comparison, though.
Yeah. It's reminiscent of that. And I think that's like my father-in-law was saying, he finally got around to reading Saul Alinsky's Rules for Revolutionaries, and he's like, it's all happening exactly like he said. But I do think the interesting thing that Saul did not know about was shell oil. And the good positive news that I saw this week is the rig count in the United States is up 645 rigs since last year this time, which is huge. So if you're figuring all those rigs are drilling shell oil wells, they're going to come on and start producing anywhere between like 15 to 3,000 barrels a day. And so you got 6 600, and they're probably adding 20 rigs or 12 rigs a week. So, I mean, even Joe Biden cannot stop us from drilling oil. And the oil, I'd say in 13 or 14 months, we won't have high oil prices because we'll have such a glut of oil here in the United States. And how he's going to figure his way out of that one, I cannot understand. But when the drills start spinning in the shale world, oil starts coming out of the ground really fast. And as long as it's at $80 a barrel, they're going to be throwing some rigs on. And so I think that's the one thing Saul Alinsky never thought about, because he thought that there was a limited amount of oil. And every time that we get into a recession, we drill our way out of it.
Yeah.
And really, the secret is cheap energy cost. And I don't think Biden has enough support in the United States to cope with $125 barrel of oil, especially when we're going to have a surplus in about 12 months.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think he's got any support pretty much anywhere, if anybody's honest. Yeah. But I can't even listen to this person read a teleprompter. It absolutely tears my guts out.
Yeah.
Like, the last guy was no great orator of our lifetime, but he could talk without somebody feeding him every single word. But even I'm in Long Beach, it just kills me. And how if anybody in the media was honest with themselves, they would be completely tearing this person apart. Or the recent art show debacle in California, where almost $500,000 in quote unquote paintings was sold by the beyond derelict son. Like, seriously? Like, it's so in your face. It's almost, it's even more insulting.
How much did you say?
Almost $500,000 in quote unquote paintings. Yeah.
Oh geez.
Yeah.
He was probably disappointed.
So high, I didn't even know. Yeah. Probably sniffing the freaking paint somewhere. Yeah. It's just an absolute atrocity, but I'll be drinking heavily if I keep talking about that. So yeah, it'll be anyways. Yeah. Just saying. Hey, I remember to turn my mute off this time. That way they go through.
Nice. You timed it well.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Oh, too good. Well, we had some good comments from random folks on the Facebook page tonight too. So that's they'll be on there for everybody to see. So outstanding. Well, Rich, I guess we will begin wrapping this thing up. We've talked just over an hour just between you and I, which isn't too bad for everybody else playing along at home.
No.
But you got best thing of the week you want to talk through real quick? You don't have to, but I just,
I think taking the kid I always give my best thing of the week in the reach around. But yeah.
You kind of do, yeah. You do leave it all on the table and reach around.
When a kid goes to the movie for the first time, like a real big screen experience, and sees it, it's so much, like he watches Paw Patrol at home and stuff, but it's just something different when you go to
there's theater. A whole, movie theaters are still one of my absolute favorite places to go. Like, it's such an experience. And maybe that's from growing up like a 3-inch black and white TV, and even going to Alger, that was pretty cool. I just love that, the whole sense. Like I've always said, if I could own a movie theater like McMenamins, where you have a bar and food and movies, like, wouldn't that be the best, dude?
Yeah. And anyways, I rented the new Suicide Squad on my and watched it on the little projector we had.
Yeah.
It's still just not the same spectacle with the sound in the movie was when we went. My wife and I went 2 nights ago and watched Venom, and we went to one of the DMX movies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Man, and I thought I was going to go deaf the first 5 minutes.
But internal bleeding, you can't see, glass eye falls out. Yeah, it's awesome.
But it's such a spectacle that, and like, the Aces were suspended because of COVID, so I could go to a baseball game, or and I haven't been able to. And I just honestly, I don't want to go. You can't go to a baseball. Well, I guess you can, but like teams closest to me are in Seattle and
Oh yeah.
San Francisco and Oakland. So
Mhm.
you have to do all the regime and all the stuff, and I just not up to it. So it was nice to get to Reno. We had to wear masks to get into the movie. Once we got into the movie, nobody gave a shit, and
Mhm.
so it was cool. And it was it sort of feels like um, we're getting back that stuff that I like so much about living in the United States, and
Mhm.
so that was a good thing. And taking the kid to a movie and really not being having all the COVID stuff be that intrusive on it was really fun.
Well, I think too, the movies, like, your phone's off. You really just don't, I at least anyways, I don't think about anything outside or anything else going on when I'm in the theater. And that's probably why I like it the most, is it's truly escape. Like the trailers. Like I love getting there to watch the trailers. Dude, you gotta go watch the trailers. Some people like just fucking drag in like 2 seconds. I'm like, no, I want to see the shitty advertisement for the real estate guy. I want to watch all the trailers, and then I want to watch the entire freaking movie. Like that's my escape time.
Well, and have you ever watched the trailers and forgot what movie you're there to see?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it's one of these. No, damn, it's not. Okay, yeah. Like, is that
What am
playing
I
next
here
door?
watching?
Yeah, exactly. Or you hear the movie next door, you're like, oh, that sounds good. I should go watch that instead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one is you
Yeah.
pulling out your ticket? Okay, shit, yeah.
James Bond was playing next door to us. I was like, because it was really a coin flip. And I heard the new James Bond's pretty good.
Some people say it's a little too wokey, but I don't know. I hope it's not. So it's still freaking James Bond, for God's sake.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, I want to watch it because I think it's the last one with Daniel Craig. So
there is a new movie, a new show coming out with it looks really good about they're trying to convince the Germans that they're actually going to land in Italy for like D-Day. So they're trying to do this, and it's about the guys that they plant this false information. It's a different disinformation campaign with the British and the Americans, and they actually pulled it off. So they did this head
cool.
fake, and it's the guy that plays the main guy in the Kingsman.
Oh, Colin Firth.
Yeah, Colin Firth, and they actually, to write up the whole plot, and I guess it's based on a true story. To write the whole story, they use Ian Fleming.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he was like, he did a lot of that stuff. Have you ever watched the Netflix thing on his life?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. So he plays a part in this crafting the story that they're trying
to. When you think of or remember that name or it comes out, let me know so we can keep track of that. That sounds really cool.
Yeah. So, anyways,
it'll be.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that was bueno, because like best thing for me. Oh, I finally got to catch up with some family I haven't spoken to in a while. It's been too long, somebody I really love and just love talking to. And it'd been probably almost 2 months, and we usually talk at least every couple of weeks, and it just kind of been going in different directions, and finally got the chance to talk. So it's little things like that I really appreciate, but it warms my little cockles of me heart. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. And then I saw a cool movie too, The Gentleman with McConaughey and a bunch of like Colin Farrell, and it's English movie. I don't remember who directed it.
Guy Ritchie.
It's a Guy Ritchie movie. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Colin Farrell plays a guy called Coach. It's probably my favorite character he's ever done. It's just awesome, dude. But I'd not seen it before. It's been out for a while now, but I'd missed it until recently. So really dug it. Yeah.
It is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really, really liked it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it again.
I think it's one of I really like some of the Matthew McConaughey's odder movies. Like I like The Beach Bum.
Yeah.
And I really like The Gentleman. Was just
2019. Yeah. That was a
I put
great.
it in there with it's like the trilogy. It's like the end of the Snatch. It's like
Snatch,
Lock, Stock, and Barrel, Snatch, and Gentleman.
Yeah. What's his dick? Freaking the English guy. God, what's his name? Hugh Grant. He plays such a good piece of shit in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Like seriously, does a good job, dude. Like,
and I can't remember the other actor's name, but he's in a lot of the Viking movies, but he's really good at it.
oh, Charlie Hunnam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Everybody does a pretty solid job, dude.
I think that's one of Guy Ritchie's top 3 movies.
Oh, for sure. And I just been gently reminded of one more really good thing. I didn't talk about it because I've not got the email on it yet, but I was, according to sources, recently elected to the EOU Alumni board over homecoming weekend this past weekend. So,
oh man, you have an inside track.
Yes. So that was just reminded of that. I wasn't going to bring it up because I had not got the official email yet, but people who were there and voted have told me. So I'm going to throw it out there. So that means probably next year. Next year, I certainly want to go to homecoming, maybe the year after, but definitely I need to get there next year and go be a part of that wonderful event. So yeah, that was this past weekend in beautiful LeGrand. It's also homecoming this past weekend here at UF too. So I got to watch the parade from my office, which is pretty cool. But no, couldn't be more proud or honored to be on that. And I think Amy actually for nominating me and carrying the water on that. So yeah. Should be pretty entertaining and remind me of some of the old days. So either they'd all completely forgotten who I was, or there were a couple who still remembered and thought this is going to be entertaining. So
all the way from Florida,
yeah, coming in live, yeah. So, but yeah, that was really honored that my name was brought up and appreciated that, and then more importantly too that it made it all the way through the process. And so I think I was the only person that got nominated probably, but you can't get hung up on the details like that. So yes, certainly one of the highlights, but I had not received my official email yet, so I thought I'd keep it on.
It was great to see all the photos of everybody that we went to college.
Oh dude, yeah, they're there with their kids now. It's really cool. Yeah, so
yeah, so it's and then simultaneously seeing the photos and sitting in one of my other favorite college bars in UNR.
Oh yeah,
it's like that really lived a blessed life.
Dude, no doubt, man. You stop and think about it, absolutely. So it's but been blessed, man. Been blessed. So well, I think for this week we'll wrap her up.
A lot of good memories this weekend, and
oh, we're always making new ones too. That's the best part. But yeah, there's somewhere I've got a huge box of actual photographs from the White House days.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's in the time lock, I think, but I still have it. So maybe I'll bring some of those back to homecoming next year. But I think statute of limitations is probably up by now, isn't it?
Yeah. Now they're just fun. They're not black.
Yeah. I think if anything's actually on a photograph, it's instantly inadmissible in court. So I think we're good. Yeah. So
can't be photoshopped.
No, it can't be photoshopped. Like white out and shit on it. Yeah. Like or the old days you'd scratch a picture out. Yeah. So but no, thanks everybody tonight for playing along and watching on Facebook Live, as well as had some good comments, good fans on there as well. Amy, minor details. Yeah, don't get hung up on details now, Micah. So yeah, but remember for next week, we'll be talking about MASH, the movie. So wherever you can find that out, I'm sure it's probably on Prime or somewhere. If I figure it out between now and we post this, I'll have it in the description usually so people can find it easier. But one of the all-time greats, great actors, great writing, great story, set a great pace for a lot of things to come. So yeah, we'll let you get on, everybody get on the rest of their lives, and we're going to sign off for now. But until then, we're going to keep on reaching and see y'all guys on the other side. So thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you soon.